Okay, I mean, the economy has become the fashionable football because of Gordon Brown's status, having been Chancellor to becoming Prime Minister. And I can't help but think, when it comes to Gordon Brown, I am minded of Dad's Army, which is the point that the bank manager becomes in charge of the troops, and the whole joke is that the bank manager isn't very good at being in charge of the troops. But the thing about the cutting of the deficit, and the reason why I was wincing as Chris reached the peak of his peroration: Black Wednesday, ERM, demutualisation of the building societies, inflation out of control. That's the Conservative Party track record. It might be that Gordon Brown has fundamentally failed to put the economy on a firm footing, but to say take away the Labour Party, put the Conservatives back in charge is the solution is a parody beyond compare. So pause. I remember only too well the removal trucks arriving at my parents' house after the repossession, and whatever we say about this deficit and this recession, the priority has been to make sure that homeowners are not thrown out onto the streets of Britain, and that has been successful. And so your solution of cutting waste, where does this waste all lie? I mean, why didn't you cut it in the 18 years you were in power? Why didn't you do it then? Because actually, the truth is that some bureaucracy is good. I'm a governor at a big secondary school. Actually, if we were given more money, one of the things we'd recruit is another administrator. Sorry, more wasteful bureaucracy. Actually, some of this wasteful bureaucracy drives the machine. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch of imagination Gordon Brown is good, but let's get a few things clear. If there's going to be a problem looming in Britain's economy over the next few years, and I think actually we can carry the deficit, but I think there are two issues. One is the banks need to be addressed directly, and I think legislation would be an answer to separate the banks that do mortgage lending and the banks that do stock market speculation, and I think that would be a simple and direct measure that would make a difference. Second, the ticking time bomb that we're facing is the Conservative introduced PFI. There are schools, there are hospitals, then 15, 25 years ago, now 6 to 9 years away from being taken back into control from the private companies that own them. Quite what happens when those schools and hospitals are faced with the 45, 50 million pound bill when they have to rebuy their site back from the company you sold it to at a profit. So quite why your solution is remove Gordon Brown, put in George Osborne the Younger. I don't think that's a solution, and I don't think it's credible, and you do yourself no credit by advocating it. And one last word, very briefly, and that is, the economy is easy to debate in some detail as a knockabout, but I think it is accepted that actually in Vince Cable we do have somebody who is on hand, who wants a chance. Well, shock, I'm defending my own party spokesman, but actually, of all the things that face the nation, I think, regardless of party politics, all the economists and all of the commentators accept he has something to say, he has something to offer, he has some solutions to put forward. It's certainly not 18 more years of Conservative rule back into this country.